Heard of tech cities before?
Yes.
Like the ones in Hong Kong and Beijing, where almost every one of your movements are tracked by camera.
Well, I mean, if they have facial recognition, they can shut off your bank accounts if they want to. There's it's a it's kind of a bad deal, you know,
You know, it's starting to spread to the United Kingdom currently,
in the United States.
in the United States as well.
That's why they're so angry in Lahaina
Why is that?
in Hawaii,
In Hawaii, okay. Tell me more.
like where that disaster just happened.
Uh huh.
So that's why they're that's one of the reasons why they're upset is because a lot of these places in California there was the same thing that happened in California, roughly the same thing
Yeah.
where like blue stuff didn't get burned. I mean, this is like it's an atrocity.
Okay,
So
so
yeah. Anyway,
could you
they're
elaborate more?
implementing. This is kind of like their plan,
All right.
and they have this thing where they believe that everyone is just stupid, or they just know, or they believe that they'll get away with anything, and it's so brazen of them to do such a thing that it amazes me. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. I hope. I heard that. Never mind. I saw that video that some things are going down in Hawaii.
I'm pretty sure I did some research on it. It was a TikTok video,
Yeah.
and it
Was it
talked
fake?
about maybe
Maybe
not.
it was fake. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they'll
Because
get more information. Than
There's
we'll
so
know.
much misinformation nowadays, or information that hasn't been proved in somewhat, or information that has been proved that have been checked by other companies that have been funded by people who doesn't want that kind of information to be out there. So they fact check it, and then when they fact check it, they fact check it as well, not true. But then at the same time, who funds the fact checking, companies? It's the same.
So it could be very well true, but I heard that there was some things that have been implemented, but I don't know. And if they were, then it makes a lot of sense why Biden would be running all the time.
Yeah, it would actually. And to actually explain a little bit, it's because people might be hunting our president, and
I don't know.
it might be.
I think that he has really overplayed his hand
Mhm.
as president, as an American. Not just as a president, as an American. I can't believe as an American that he's getting away with this.
Well,
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. As an American, I can't believe it. I can't believe that how many people are getting away with stuff. I mean, it's shocking to me because I follow the law. Like besides maybe not speeding so much, I do have a problem with that a little bit. But I have a problem with people like not like trapping me. Like there's anyway.
anyway,
I got trapped earlier today by a white F-150, and some dude had his hand up on his camera, and he had his phone up, but his homie was in my blind spot, and they were cruised down to like 40 mile an hour, and I felt like as soon as they do stuff like that, I feel like they're gonna carjack me or something, like they're trying to slow me down to stop me so they can carjack me, and I slowed all the way down and then got around him and punched it.
insurance fraud, Dad.
Or
It's
insurance
fraud.
One of the two. I've got a camera, so and he's sitting there holding up his camera, like, dude, your homie's right here. I memorize license plates, dude.
Well-
I'm a freaking weirdo, bro. Like, don't mess with me. Like, you're retarded. Don't do it. And then, like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's funny to me that people want to do these things, and then I feel like I'm targeted. But I've got your license plates, and then even if you have a new car, or you're putting a fake license plate on. I'm going to start calling the police now. And I'm going to start reporting you guys. Because I'm tired of it. And I know they watched it because they've overwatched that one video that we had. Right? So I'm talking to you guys now. Also, you were going to talk to me about a lady that was a prior work thing from before. That made a bunch of lies about me. And sent it into my work and got me fired. that lady,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to say that lady's name because I don't want to give her kudos.
Okay, well.
I don't want to give her those kudos, and I don't want to do that. But there's other people that have nothing to do with it that want to be part of affecting my life.
Mm.
And listen, don't follow that road because other people know what she's doing and she's being watched. So, you can't get away with manipulation of that many people for that long and hurting people without people coming back and watching you, and then sooner or later they're gonna get you.
Well, it's the same thing with Biden, and currently he's got enemies in Saudi Arabia, Russia, China, and my thing is, whenever you mess over your own people for your own benefit, right, and for other countries' benefit, they wouldn't want you in another country because you messed over your own people. What do you think you're going to do to another person's people? So
they're gonna. The thing is like if he thinks that he's gonna defect to China or something,
or Africa,
there are not gonna. There is no welcome mat for you there either. Like history dictates this.
Yes,
history, not.
Like fleeting kings.
It's gonna happen for you're gonna be okay for just a little while, but then the cards are all gonna fall.
Stuff's gonna hit the fan.
And I don't know if that's gonna happen to him. Because I still know that there are people that are controlling a lot of things.
Mm.
And power is power, son. I'd like to start to agree and think that things are gonna. I mean, how many times did they arrested Trump?
About 11. 11 times.
Did they? Did they really?
They indicted him.
I thought they only indicted him twice.
No, they indicted him 11 times. Twice?
He's been indicted that I know of two or three times, right? Look it up.
More than 2 and 3 times, I'm sure. Well,
Yeah.
we got phones nowadays, so we get to go check.
And we don't have somebody that's got a computer. That
we don't got a Jamie, all right. We don't got a Jamie.
Or is that Jamie? Is that Jamie?
Yeah.
All right. Who does Uncle Joey have? Does Uncle Joey have Jamie too?
I think he just has his own
No,
brand.
he has another guy, dude.
What?
Yeah, he has a guy that looks up all his stuff too. So we're kind of looking. How many times was Trump indicted? I'm gonna say 3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, since his presidency.
Oh, since his presidency.
Let me add that part in. Since his presidency.
He's been criminally indicted 4 times.
4 times. 4 times. Okay? And everybody knows he did diddly squat. Diddly squat. Except he gave black people more money.
He did.
And that was the biggest mistake he made. Because when he did that, everybody was like, oh, screw this guy. And then as soon as Biden was in, he was like, we got to take that money from the blacks. And look it up. I know
I
I'm right.
forget which policy it was that he made.
I don't know, but it was one of the best policies that for young black Americans that had ever been made. And it was like almost a George Washington level policy.
I forget.
Or George Washington.
Is it the
Abraham
first
Lincoln?
step back?
Abraham Lincoln. There we go, mixing up my presidents.
Okay, I'll do a little more.
No, I'll here.
on
Let me
this.
hand it over.
Yeah,
Hand it over to Papa.
Yeah, of course.
Hand it over to Papa. Let's see here. Go ahead and talk about some stuff you was going to talk about. Let me go ahead and. Let me ask you a question.
Okay. Sure.
Let me ask you a question. So, what do you think about Christian music now and how the Christian music labels? Tell them what you know.
So I just learned recently that when you're listening to Christian music, the Christian artists, in this fact, might actually not be Christian. What I mean by that is they might be, well, in some cases, not a follower of Jesus, or in some cases, not a follower of God. They just say that they're Christian to get their music up on the charts. So, when you listen to Christian music, I advise everybody to research the artist in the same way that you research more songs, because the artist might not want to. You might not want to listen to an artist that isn't with your beliefs, but you can still check them out and see what their profile is and how they act. Because if you listen to their music, that implies that you are a part of them in some cases. I wouldn't say that since that artist did drugs, you're going to do drugs as well. I don't mean anything like that. But it does mean that you still listen to that type of music, and it's interesting. It gives a little bit of character. You gain a little bit of character whenever you listen to music from other people. For me, I listen to every type of music, EDM to country music, and old country music at that. So everybody has their niches and their quirks when it comes to music, but you still have to research who you're listening to, what they believe in, and how they act.
Yeah, and their Christian music companies are now becoming, and Christian artists are starting to become more and more accepting to things that you're not accepting to, right? So we're gonna have to talk about that later, but it's out there. I know somebody knows it. You could drop it in the comments, whatever. I know I'm right. I'm not gonna look it up right now, and I can't use these glasses to look at that. And I'm not taking my glasses off on this podcast or any podcast, hopefully.
The Platinum Plan.
Yeah,
That was it.
the Platinum Plan. I'm glad you found it. So yeah, and Biden repealed that first or second week in office or something like
Now,
that.
I'm looking for bullet points now.
So the thing is, we have this history of things not going well, and once a certain president got in there, things got well for a lot of people that were middle class and poor. And it was a very, very good time. It was probably one of the best times I've ever had in the country as an adult. And,
Okay. Here, ready?
yeah.
And this is quoted from the Bloomberg. For black communities, the Platinum Plan commits to unlocking $500 billion in access to capital, creating 3 million new jobs, and bridging historic disparities in healthcare and education, school choice, criminal justice reform, and favorable trade deals for black farmers and manufacturers round out the list of the president's platinum promises. The campaign pledges that Trump will even make June 10th a national holiday if he is reelected, building on the credit that the president has taken from making June 10th very famous. So overall, it's a plan to raise the black community. And have you heard anything about raising the black community from Biden? He doesn't even work with BLM anymore.
I mean, they've kind of, that, I am not quick to jump on bandwagons for movements because of the reason that they always start good, but they end bad.
Yeah,
And then they end up like stealing from the people, and it's just it's a repetitive blueprint of a bunch of muck and mess where people are just conning other Americans, hardworking Americans, out of money. It's the media, and if it's not the media, it's a salesperson. If it's not a salesperson,
it's your neighbor or.
Well, no, because
no, not your
I
neighbor,
like my neighbors, so
good. But some neighbors are bad.
Don't you like who? Not my neighbors. My neighbors are cool. So I think that when it's business wise, in some areas and aspects here in America, it's just cutthroat, and you're gonna have to accept it, right?
I take back my statement.
So it's just, we have to make sure that we have to treat each other better as people,
right?
And we have to draw a line in the sand, and part of that is having healthy boundaries. You can't allow people to walk all over you all the time, of course, but you have to stick up for your values.
Okay.
As a young man, you have to say, hey, this is my line in the sand, and I don't want you to cross it. And if you cross it, we're going to have an issue. And that's it. If you want to do that, then that's how it is. And as a young man, you're going to have those instances. I'm an old man. I've already had my rodeos, I'd like to think that I don't have to take up arms so much unless I have to, and I will. But by goodness, if we're gonna do it, let's do it while my knees are still going.
Well,
We're gonna get this war popping.
I recently heard that the Second Amendment is the great equalizer.
Well,
who said that again?
it
it Mike?
Mike said some quote, and I think he quoted somebody else. He said, God made men big, and God made men small, and Smith and Wesson made all men equal. So, it's, guns are the great equalizer, and but at the same time, if you have a small gun and a big guy, might not work out so well for you.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the guy and the drug he's on or she's on, depending. So what's up, man?
My perspective is gender equality, right? It's always talked about. They say that one side is more masculine than the other, and in some cases there are positives and negatives, right?
No.
What do you keep
No,
saying
like,
no for?
there's no equality in gender.
No, there isn't.
Like,
my point is there is equality in other aspects like education.
Yes. Driving.
So there's other aspects of equality that is apart from gender.
In America.
In America, yes.
That's a good thing.
And that's what we should work on, because that's what we already have. And to create new things
instead of trying to
and just curving it bit by bit, it doesn't help out. What I mean by education is not teaching gender in schools. I'm talking about teaching better subjects. Like in American history, you don't hear much about the Korean War. Or you don't actually really hear much about the Asian side of the World War II, or about Nanking at all. So I have to put out there that history is not equal in every school.
History is not equal in any country.
That as well.
So, like, each country writes its own kind of way of history to get. So anyway, anybody. Let's see. So each country has a way of getting their society to make that country move a certain way. It's all propagandized. Propaganda, okay? So it's all like, like right now, China is probably one of the biggest liars of all countries right now.
Yeah.
Right? They're one of the biggest liars of all countries because they have a real estate. They're on the verge of a real estate collapse themselves. They have, they don't have enough people to put the houses in that they built, and then they're going bankrupt. They're missing payments. So it's kind of ridiculous here.
Right.
I think that there's so much of this. I think Biden got hoodwinked by China. China's like, oh, look at us, we're better than you, and we're going to do this and this and this, and you should do this and invest into us and give us a bunch of money. And Biden's like, yeah, and everybody else is telling Biden no, because everybody knows that's the dumb move. And Biden has been the dumbest politician that America has ever produced. Okay? Let's just put that out there right now. Nixon, bring Nixon back, bro. Bring him back, dude. I'll take
back the tapes.
Dude, bring back Nixon over Biden any day. Dude, I'm telling you, I'd rather have Nixon. Dude, I take anybody, dude, over Biden right now.
Anybody?
Dude, I honestly,
you would take Obama back?
Okay, let's not go too far. Let's not go. They got that one little Indian dude that's up there. What's his name? Vujicic?
Yeah.
He's a good speaker, but he's just a little Republican Obama. Little Republican Obama, same color, everything. Right? Back Soros guy. I'm like, dude. It's like they do this stuff right in front of us like we're all stupid. Like we're all stupid. Like, hey, you're all stupid. Here, we're gonna do it again. Let's do it again. Do the same thing all over again every 4 years. It's just, what do we got? Are these phones flashing people like Men in Black every 4 years? Oh, I'm gonna vote for Biden because he never said anything racist. And then you see 10 million videos of Biden saying racist stuff. Oh, it's all fake. It's like the moon landing. It's all fake.
It's like the moon landing on.
Yeah, I mean everybody's on it. They're like, even the astronauts say it's fake. It's like, dude, I don't even care. I don't care if it was.
You know, it slanders America, right?
What does?
Saying that the moon landing was fake.
Oh yeah, it's probably the Russians. It's probably a Russian thing there. That's probably a big joke the Russians do. Look, they think that I'm not gonna do a Russian accent. I can't even do it. I wish the Russians would be so angry if I did it. I tried to do a Russian accent. I don't know if I can do it. I'd have to practice. I'll practice my Russian accent.
Gotta get your Russian.
What are you looking for?
Well.
Oh, and let's get some things out right now.
Oh.
Hold on. No.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Ramswamy.
Ramaswamy.
Sounds like a swamp creature. I'm just saying, dude.
He's a pharmaceutical. So
Oh.
he represents the medical.
Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah. Let's get him up there. Like we don't have any problem with that whatsoever.
We don't have any problem with the amount we pay for.
He's gonna be he's
medical care home.
I don't even want to. I don't. You know what? I don't even. I can't. I'm not even gonna do it. Anyway, I wouldn't vote for him.
Okay.
Just because he's really backed by Soros, and that was just horrible. And I don't know. You took Soros money, bro. I don't know if you can recover from that. You might as well just become a Democrat.
Yeah.
Just put on the blue tie, bro.
Just put on the blue tie.
Put on the blue tie, man, and run your blue tie there.
Blue tie.
Just blue tie it up, dude. Because I mean, red tie, blue tie doesn't matter to me. I'm looking at character. Who's gonna be a character? Who's gonna help? Who's gonna take us to the next step? Who's gonna get rid of all these people that are killing Americans?
Mm-hmm.
Like all these people that are killing Americans with American money. That's the thing that gets me the worst. You're whacking people with my tax money, bro. Not cool. Yeah. Not cool. But whatever.
So
people get whacked all the time. I just don't want Americans getting whacked with my tax money.
So what were you gonna say before I
Well, here's
before
the
I talked
thing
about the candidate.
We had a Hurricane Idalia, and it hit up north, and Hillsborough County was underwater, a lot underwater.
You said 3/4, right?
Well, that's what I was told.
Okay.
And by somebody that was on the ground there, that had family there, and the paperwork wasn't filed, and
for what?
For being disaster area.
For disaster area, you gotta fill paperwork.
Yes, everything has paperwork signed because money has to be moved down to those people down there.
Okay.
And there are people that I have information that they're
I guess Ukraine can fill that paperwork out anytime,
That's
huh?
not what I'm trying to say, but what I like is I would like for DeSantis to take a break from campaigning on a losing trail right now because it's pointless. I know you want to be president, and I think it's great, but Florida needs you. So please come back to Florida and take care of Florida because we need you to take care of those people in Hillsborough County and get FEMA straightened out with them. Quick request from me. That's just because, I know you're a good dude and I know you want to do good for the country, but I also know that you're not looking good recently. You're looking tired. And I think I've been praying for you, man. I think you made a few moves that weren't the best. I think you should have consulted with a few people before you made those moves. And hopefully, you get back to running Florida the way you always do wonderfully because you are a fantastic governor.
Yeah.
And I hope one day you do get a presidency, but I think we need to regroup and reset and I think you need to come home and take care of your people
Right.
in Florida.
Definitely.
So I needed to say that. I need to get that out because I have a bunch of respect for Ron DeSantis and the stuff he does here, and I know that having the demons at your door all the time probably isn't the best feeling in the world. And I'm praying for you, man. And I'm not a big. Well, I've been praying to God recently, so I can't say I'm not a big Christian, but I'm not so kind about giving prayers. I don't pray for just anybody. How's that? That's a good thing for me to say. I don't pray for just anybody. And I don't know if that's a good thing either, because I should pray for everybody. So, that questions my character a little bit, I guess,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll pray for that guy.
Oh,
I pray for you. I pray for forget that guy. I remember what you did to me in 6th grade.
You pulled up my pants
No,
once.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, there's so much mud and muck going on,
Mm-hmm.
And I may have made it a whole podcast without cussing this time.
Yeah, you did. And
Almost.
an interesting thing that I learned recently was that Texas is really big. And how big it is, it doesn't really come to mind how big Texas
it's like 3
is.
days to drive across
So,
it, dude.
Texas can hold 3 United Kingdoms, it could hold 2 Germanys, it could hold 2 Japans.
Oh, way more than 2 Japans.
No, 2 Japans. It could hold 2
Japan
Japans.
is small.
Yeah.
Japan is the size of California.
But all the islands together, it could only fit 2 into Texas.
Think so?
Yeah. That's what it said. But it could fit 2 Germanys, so Texas is large. And you don't think of Texas being large because it looks small on the map.
The 3rd largest economy is Texas.
It's Texas.
In the world. In the world.
In the world. That's so
I
weird.
think they said it was that. I think that was one of the things that said.
The 3rd largest military?
No, I don't know. Economy.
Economy? Okay.
Yeah, because they have so much oil and they're always producing.
But the thing is, what? Okay. So, speaking of oil, today on Wednesday, the 6th of January, right? Today's January, yes.
No.
September. I'm thinking of January 6th for some reason.
Oh, because that guy got 22 years, man. The Proud Boys leader got 22 years because of the January 6th riot. Which, I didn't see a riot. I saw a bunch of people walking around, sitting around on stuff that their families have paid for centuries. So, I didn't see a problem with that. What I saw a problem with was putting innocent people in jail for what?
And then what about the woman that was shot? I mean,
I listen. Putting any protester in jail for protesting in America on land that's paid for by taxpayers is egregious. Egregious. I can't even say the word egregious. It's egregious. I'm trying not to use cuss words, so it's going to be really difficult for me to come up with words that are going to be better than cuss words. And it is so difficult.
But what happened today on September 6th is that, Vladimir Putin met with the Saudi Arabian prince and they agreed on cutting oil together. Now,
cutting oil? What do you mean
cutting the production of oil.
You mean refining oil? Like they're refining it?
That too, yes.
So they're refining oils together.
They're cutting it.
They're refining it.
Yeah, they're cutting it out of... They're stopping exports.
Oh, they're stopping.
Yes,
they're
cutting on their exports. They're cutting down on over 1 million barrels.
To where?
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know to where. They just agreed on cutting.
Oh. So here's what's going to happen.
Ready?
Here, no.
I'll let you speak.
No,
I'll let you speak.
here's what's gonna happen. And who said this? Who? This was Russia.
Russia and Saudi Arabia.
Okay, here's what's going on now, and be prepared for this. I don't know if you're gonna post this tonight or not. So here's what's coming. This is right off the dome. If I'm running the ship, right?
Do you want the?
Nope.
Nope.
If I'm running the ship, here's what I would do. Okay, when that happens, that's going to be barrels for us that they're cutting because Biden already cut us from producing our own oil, right? So when that happens, they're going to cut it for us. That means we're not going to have anything. We're not going to have anything, right? We're not going to be able to even get to work. Is what they're going to try and do. So when that happens, right, Biden's going to say, "Oh, let's go to war with Russia." Right? Right then, that keeps Biden in the driver's seat to finish off the rest of America. And this means all the other stuff that all the conspiracy theory people were saying about gun grabs and all this other stuff, it's like a domino effect. Everybody's going to start kicking in. It's going to go into hyperdrive. It's going to be nasty. Woo! I hope it doesn't happen.
So they're planning on cutting oil. BDP is barrels per day by 1.4 million by 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're going to try and choke
It's
this.
called OPEC Plus.
And then, on top of that, here's what's going on with all the land that's being bought here in America from other countries. What they're doing is they're coming in here, they're buying in land, and they're going to frack. And they're going to come in and get our reserves. They're going to steal it while we're sitting here dumbfounded because we let them in the back door. The other thing that's going on, and this isn't a conspiracy, is that we need to check into the wildlife. Because right now, the federal government is trying to say you can't use lead bullets.
But
So they're going to come after bullets first. You can't hunt for bullets now. So then they're not going to produce those bullets. So what happens then? All I know is most bullets that we have are made from lead. Right? So then what? They're also saying that you can't have lures. So that means if you get caught with lead, or fishing with lead, or hunting with lead, you could face major jail time. These are all things that they're trying to implement. What it sounds like to me is they're trying to cut off our natural food. They're trying to cut off our natural resources. Right? They're trying to cut off our natural food. They're trying to steal our natural resources. Right? While we're all here, sitting here, they're trying to do it, it seems like. This is what it looks like to me. While implementing these cities so they can take more control over us.
And don't forget, they're still giving more money to what? Ukraine.
Well, this is ridiculous.
Instead of
this is
Hawaii.
This is all to bankrupt everybody here in America, to make us poor. This
Instead
is
of
what
East Palestine, Ohio.
This is East Palestine, Ohio. This guy.
It's been over 6 months.
I can't even
3
believe
months.
it. He doesn't. And that's another thing, is every one of those are poisoning the land, which it's so calculated. It's so calculated that they're doing this, and it's just a smack in the face. You know, a straight smack in the face.
And then, other than that, we are transitioning as a world to currency that is online, right? Online currency. And we both know who owns Bitcoin, and people who don't know who owns Bitcoin and who owns Ethereum, you should do research about it, because if those sites, right, if someone comes out of nowhere and says they want the money taken out in their currency, then it crashes.
There's going to be a lot of...
There's going to be a lot of stuff that goes on.
Either that, the suicide rate is probably going to jump really high.
Yeah.
Because people are going to want to, you know,
they're
going
whole
to lose
savings
everything. It's going
crypto.
to be so crazy. And this is how they do it. This is Cold World War style plays.
But isn't that a fiat
We wrote
currency?
the freaking book on this, and they're using it on us to the T. And nobody, except for the Mr. Orange-haired, blonde, orange-haired man, has stood up and said no. Everybody else is kind of like gone underneath their wing and said, okay, Soros, we're going to do that. Or everybody else is like, oh, you got to shut them up. Right? It's like instead of the people rising up, which I thought would happen by now because France did it and Britain did it. And like they're like, oh,
Germany did it.
Yeah, well, it's not a rise up on just rising up and protesting. You rise up and those people, those ones that are oppressing, those are the ones you rise up against. Mm-hmm. Not their businesses. Them.
Yes.
Them. It's some Tyler Durden shit. Mm. You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's take it to the courts. Mm-hmm. Right. Let's take it to the courts.
Go after the money.
So it's
where it hits hard.
You know, it's one of those things where they have the money. That's the thing. They bought the politicians. They have the money. They have the judges. They have the police officers. They have the sheriffs. They have certain people.
They have the media
that are in their club, and they have many clubs. They own the clubs. They own the clubs. So right. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The only thing you can do is when it's confronted in front of you, you snuff it out. Like, I mean, we talked about who's the greatest. One of the greatest speakers ever was Woodrow Wilson, right? Did we talk about that?
No, I think I was.
Was it Woodrow Wilson? Is that what you're talking about?
I always talk about Kennedy.
Kennedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
He used to have a cabinet of people that wrote his scripts with him.
You know,
the thing is,
everybody had.
He had people in every. Yeah.
Some are good, some are bad, though.
So he had people in every part of society. So one will be in technology, one will be in business, one will be in women's rights, one will be in men's rights, all that, right? Mm. So he had every person writing, and he had scholars in there with him. So it's a group. You have to write your speeches in groups, so they're perfect, they're good, they align with everyone.
It's not just about speeches, though, Owen.
Yeah, you said great speaker, so.
No, I'm just saying it's about putting your money where your mouth is. It's doing what you say you're gonna do. It's not being a burden to society. It's actually helping your neighbor and helping people and letting someone move in front of you in traffic and using your turn signal because it's the polite thing to do and not being a menace. I mean, these are things that, like, I try now to kind of spread more and more and not be the menace because I'm an old man. A menace. You know, because I'm getting older. I don't have the, like, I'm starting to creep more and more towards my Uncle Mickey, his style of life. You know what I mean? And my Uncle Mickey, when I was like, I don't know, I was 16. I thought it was hot shit. I cussed.
One.
But I thought it was Mr. You know, tough guy, this, that, and the third.
Mr. Johnny Bravo?
Oh yeah, I thought I was it, you know.
Alright.
And he was like, well, what would you do if I did this? And I was like, I'd just beat you up. And he's like, oh, you would, huh? I said, yeah. I would kick your ass. And he goes, well, I'd fucking shoot you. And I was like, what? I'm gonna fucking shoot you, man. And he was like, yeah, I'd fucking shoot you. He's like, well, I'm old. What the fuck do I have to... Oh, excuse me. See, that's two. I was trying to play his part. But he was like, I'm
Go
old.
ahead.
What would I do when trying to fight you? I don't have time to hurt for days. I'm just going to shoot you and get it over with. And I was just like, I feel more and more like him. I start to start to what do you call it? I start to familiarize myself a little bit more with him. The older I get and the more ridiculous things I see, I'm like, oh, I understand him now. I understand. Right? It's like, oh, I just shoot you. Bang! I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hit you in the leg. Maybe teach you a lesson or something, you know? Maybe hit a toe
Well, you can't do that now.
That's Johnny. That's Johnny Seven Toes. You know.
Johnny Seven.
Johnny Seven Toes. Hey. You know, I mean, they're like, oh yeah, well you're gonna go to jail for it anyway. I actually, in my hometown, I heard a story. This happened after I went to the military. And I'm not going to use names because I don't believe in using the names.
Yes.
But a couple of friends of mine, and they were at a party. And one friend, he's known for having quick comebacks. He's that guy that's got a good mouth. Not a good mouth like blowjob mouth. I don't know about that. But he's quick with the comebacks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's at a party, and he was talking smack. My other friend, my other buddy, he's one of those cats that you don't mess with. Right? You just don't. He's crazy, and he doesn't care about jail.
Wait, crazier than you?
Well, I care about going to jail. I don't want to go to jail because I got a lot of stuff that I got to do. I like to make money. He don't care.
My goodness.
He likes jail.
What?
He likes jail. There are people that like jail because it's structured and silent, and you get to read books all day. I mean, sounds pretty peaceful to me.
No traffic.
I don't want to go to jail because I have a lot of things I like. You know, like my wife and
what about me, Dad?
And
What about me?
You know,
so
like in our podcast, right? So, what was I talking about again? You got me on things I like. And I started talking about my wife.
We were talking about your friends and.
So anyway, they're at a party.
Okay.
And this other friend, he's that guy. He's just that guy. And you know, like I said on past podcasts, you might end up meeting one of those guys one day where you think that you're going to be all fine and you can just push everybody's buttons and you're going to get hurt or you're going to get shot or you're going to get killed. You're just going to cross somebody on that day where they're just like, you know what, I'll spend life in prison. I don't give a shit. And they just do it. And I'm telling you, you don't want to have those moments.
Yeah.
Reduce those moments as much as possible by being nice to people. It's not hard.
So what happened?
So anyway, he was like, blah, 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 we're going to jump you. And I guess there was like 2 or 3 of them. And he's like, you guys ain't jumping nobody. And he pulls a gun out. And my friend with the mouth goes, what are you going to do with that? Shoot me? And he goes, boom! And shoots him in his freaking leg. My friend went to prison for like 4 years or something. And I was like, well, he's like, can you imagine you saying like, what are you going to do? Shoot me? And then he's like, you just, boom! I did, what now? And you sit there going, you shot me! You know, can you imagine? Oh my gosh. And then everybody around just like, oh shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. That would have been my first thing. I'd have been like, I'm gone. See you later.
Well, we don't have to mess with him.
I'm out, yeah. Well, I knew already. Like, everybody knew. I don't understand why you think. Like, I don't know. I just think that's crazy. It was my friend's cousin, I think. So, it's just, you know, and you know my best friend.
Yeah, I do.
That was, you just have to understand, we were just not to be messed with and
not to be trifled.
We were not, none of us, because we each had each other's back, and we didn't put up with a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, I believe my friend was a little mad with me because I cussed in his house, and it was a little inappropriate. But you guys weren't even in the room when I said it. And I realized when I said it, I was like, I probably said it a little too far. And I had to retract and kind of reel everything back. Because, you know, I get excited and end up cussing and saying things inappropriately sometimes.
Yeah, we'll
that
work on
sailor comes out. I'm doing better. Today we got 1, 2. But I was reenacting. So, I mean, you know, I am trying to, I haven't repented. I haven't for cussing, and I haven't, because I have. It's so difficult to want. I'm gonna try to not cuss, but I'm not gonna pray to God.
It's the sailor in him.
I'm not gonna pray to God and say, you know, I'll never do this again. I can't do that because. But I'm gonna try to push it back.
You can't just preach. You gotta do, right?
Some parents smoke cigarettes. Some parents smoke pot. Some parents probably do smack or something. Some parents do meth or something like that. Some parents overeat. Some parents undereat. Some parents exercise too much.
Some parents aren't actually there.
Some parents are gay. Some parents are not. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I cuss. And I fly off on the handle every once in a while. I get into that crazy...
Fly off the walls.
It's like, ah! Or fly on the wall.
Fly on the wall.
No, I'm never really a fly on the wall. I'm usually the guy that's like, hey! That doesn't go there! What are you doing? And everybody's like, oh, the mask is coming back. The mask is coming back, you guys. It's coming back. I've seen it, dude. I've seen it. I've already seen it. You're going to cover your face. And you're going to go back to this. Well, and then everybody's going to have their, rash.
People think it's an aesthetic. Nowadays. Like, it looks cool. And then that gets me. Like, if you're going to wear a mask...
Aesthetically pleasing?
If you're going to wear a mask, wear a mask. Like an actual, mask. What I mean by that is
run around like a ninja.
Mask. Exactly. I mean, that looks cool.
Wait, that's in Vogue, right?
What are you doing?
Strike pose. I don't know, some weird shit. Some 90s thing. I don't even know.
like those Japanese war masks or something like that.
Those are cool, man.
Those are cool.
You start doing some stuff like that, cops are going to show up, and I don't know.
I mean,
there's just so much weirdness going on. And also, I denounced the Methodist Church. If you're putting the rainbow flag up there for homosexuality.
Wait, isn't it for God?
It's got six colors.
Oh my goodness.
I think the rainbow flag has 7, is that correct?
Well,
if you look on that, that's satanic. So I guess there's now, once you accept Satan in churches, you're no longer a church of God.
The rainbow was God's gift to bridge us between the creatures of earth.
That's why, there's only 6 colors to the homosexual flag.
Is there black on their flag?
I don't know. I'm not. I'm just saying that if you're doing stuff like that, you can't pervert God's word and God's will. And I don't even feel comfortable saying things like this because, I cuss all the time. And I fall short of God's glory all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
I don't know.
I cuss and I get angry quickly. A lot of people don't know it. You don't see it. But it's in my heart and it's in my head and it still doesn't make it okay.
Keeps you alive.
Or it's going to kill me. And I pray about things and, I don't know if God ever listens, but
I think he does.
It doesn't, I don't push my views on people, but I feel like I'm tired of people pushing their views on me. And if you want to hear what I think that most people are nasty and mean, and they don't need to be. For what reason? Because somebody believes something that you don't. I'm a Christian, and I believe that, I have to do good in this world, and I have to help people become Christians. So, in that part, I have to say that, I am 100% on God's side, and I have to be, what do you want to say? I have to be more diligent about my stances as well.
I say you just have to be more wise. And everybody does.
Well, after seeing this stuff about, I knew for a while that the Methodist Church was starting to do this. They're starting to try and bring all religions together and be all accepting. Listen, it doesn't say that we have to accept what you're doing. Like, I'm not going to accept a murderer that's going to keep on killing, or a rapist that's going to keep on raping, or a pedophile that's going to keep on doing that to children, and sit here and be like, oh, I'm accepting, and then watch it happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you it's wrong. I'm going to do whatever I can to get the right people to help you.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to pray for you. Because
Right.
that's what I'm supposed to do as a Christian. And I'm going to pray that you turn towards God and turn away from sin. Because that is what a good Christian man is supposed to do. But,
You're right.
on the other hand, I have not been the perfect Christian man. And I don't think any of us can be the perfect Christian man.
I mean, we
I
can't
think-
all be Jesus, but we can try to be like him.
Well, I think a lot of people want to point fingers at others and be like, oh, you're not a Christian, you're not a Christian, you're not a Christian, to other Christians. You know, and
Check yourselves.
I think that we shouldn't perverse the word of God
Right.
to fit an agenda, because that's not what it's about. The book in the word is the book in the word. And it doesn't care about your interpretation, because there are so many interpretations already, and the way that you twist it to your interpretation doesn't work well. Because there are a lot of other scholars out there, and I'm saying to the Methodists that are preaching that homosexuality is okay, it's not in the church, and it's not for God, and that's not Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and it never will be, because it's written.
In Romans. Actually.
So I it's not me, but I'll pray for you. And you want to be mean, that's fine. I'll pray for you. I hope you get better. You know, you can. A lot of those people like to make Christians angry. For all you Christians out there, you've seen it. It's probably happened to you. If you voice your opinion about certain things, you'll see that certain people will treat you horrible all the time. And that's fine. You just pray for them, and you smile, and you treat them nice, and you treat them with kindness. Because you know what? That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Now, it doesn't say that you do that all the time. There's going to be a limit where you're going to have to say, hey, this is the line in the sand, and you're going to have to fight back.
Yeah.
As a Christian. And
You know, Jesus flipped a few tables.
it's yeah, like I said, Jesus flipped a few tables.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to say I'm the one to do it, because I like to think that my hoo-rah-rahs are done. Hoo-rah-rahs are done.
I don't think so.
I, you know. Oh, did you know what's his name with the pretty hair is now the UFC champ?
I don't know.
Sugar
what's his
Sean
name.
O'Malley.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't
he
know
knocked
that.
out Elijah Main Sterling. Elijah Mon. I don't know what these guys' names are, dude. You
I like to
you
watch
got
that.
rainbow hair, cornrowed, tall, lanky, beanpole, and then you have Elijah Mon Sterling, who's like, he's like a beanpole too. And then he's got somebody that's his trainer, but I think that's really like his lover or something, because I see like videos of them like holding hands and stuff online, which is cool. I mean, if that's what they're about, it's kind of Romanish, but whatever.
Oh,
I
what?
mean, they're acting like gladiators, like we're real gladiators now.
I don't know. I'm not too sure.
But
That's not
you
my
know,
route.
I don't know. It's kind of weird seeing these things online. I don't even know what. Like back in the day, it was just like, yo, just glove up and get to it, bro. Like all these guys are making these weird things and weird hair.
It's just to get popular, Dad. It's just to
to
get
make all
attention.
this money, all the moolah,
And
the moolah.
that's about to die soon. So
What?
we better.
You think so?
Yeah, it's at one bar.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been staring at it for a bit.
So, what's the song that we're gonna end on today, my man?
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? What do? You throw him in a what?
I don't know.
You throw him in a brig.
No.
That's
not what you do.
You clean him up.
Yeah.
Send him to work.
You make sure. You make sure he's got his ID in his back freaking pocket so he can make it back to base. You put him in a freaking cab and you put him back to base. That's what you do with a drunken sailor. And you say, thank you for the good time.
If he goes to the medic, what does the medic tell
The
him?
medic, listen,
Water?
no,
Water?
no. Any sailor knows you don't ever go to the medic when you're hungover. That's dumb.
What did they do to you?
What are you talking about? Anytime we were sick, is that what you mean?
Yeah, what about when you were sick?
We had a cold pack, They
Cold
say
pack.
it has to go get a cold pack. The cold pack would have like Tylenol and like I don't even remember, like maybe some like I don't even think we had mentholatum. I don't even think they gave us menthol. I think it was just like Tylenol. I think it was just
Tylenol water.
Tylenol water. Be like, oh, I got a guess. Cold pack, bro. Cold pack. You just throw it at your head. Thanks. Yeah, drugs.
So, do you got a song?
You gotta fight for your right to party.
Alright, we'll see you on the next episode of Generational Podcast, which will be episode 45. And it should be posted Friday.
I don't know.
I'm putting time.
Listen, if it's late, it's his fault because I don't do it anymore. I'm done.
Well,
I'm done with the.
He's being lazy.
I've earned my right.
He did earn his right.
I've earned my right.
I've been sweating a lot. Yeah.
Jeez, you know what I'm talking about, dude? It's funny. You got sick. The wife got sick. By the way, we gotta have her on the next podcast.
Yeah.
At least when she gets a little better. But you got sick. The wife got sick. I did not get sick.
Yeah, probably because you've been working all the time.
I don't ever get sick, dude.
Yeah, they must not like your blood.
It's not they. It's the fact that I am a sweat machine. I can sweat on cue. I can sit here and I can start thinking about something right now and start sweating, dude. On cue, man.
Superpowers.
So I was, well, also if you're in addicts all the time, in Florida, you're about to shrivel up anyway. So it doesn't even matter, you know what I'm saying?
I'll go click.
You know what I'm saying, Jack?
I do know what
You
you're
know what I
saying.
mean, Gene?
I know what you're saying, Gene.
Jack? You know what I'm
Jackie.
talking about, Jack?